Hello, hello. No one's here, but I am excited. I'm excited to be doing a live video. I started this YouTube channel. My name is Cynthia, and I want to welcome you, whether you see this video now or later, to the Purpose Performer podcast. And so, a little bit about me. I am an actor, I'm a playwright. I love the Lord. I'm a daughter of the King. And I am so sorry. Now someone is calling me. At any rate, I want to welcome you in, and I hope you get a lot out of this video tonight. What I wanted to talk about and what I will be talking about is audition etiquette, or I could say audition etiquette and protocols. And this may be particularly useful if you are just getting into acting, if you have an affinity for it, but you've not taken any classes or you've not been able to do any professional work, or perhaps you have been working in community theater, or maybe you are a part of your church's drama or worship ministry or arts ministry or something of that sort. But what I thought I would do is just start a little bit about my arts background, and then we would come on over to what we want to talk about in regards to auditioning. I attended the American Musical and Dramatic Academy in New York City, where I studied acting for the theater and film. Now, they did have a musical theater component, and everyone was required to take the jazz classes, the Alexander technique, and all of the things that were required to help the body to move if you were not in the musical theater program. It was 2 years of rigorous training. I loved it. In fact, the first 2 weeks I was in the school, I thought it was a bit of a scam because the first 2 weeks were spent with us just learning how to respect our bodies, because our bodies are our instruments when it comes to acting. And that's what they were trying to get across to us. But I didn't understand. I was like, uh-oh, did I make a mistake here? I'm not sure what's going on, because I think for the first 2 weeks, we were mostly doing a lot of physical exercises. And I think probably around that third week, we were introduced to our first exercise as far as acting is concerned. It was a listening exercise, a telephone exercise to be exact. And a monologue was given to us with these ellipses all, dispersed throughout the monologue. And we were to imagine what a potential person on the other side of the phone line would be saying, and then we would be responding, of course, accordingly. And the test was if the instructor actually believed that we were listening and we really heard what was being said before we went to our next line on the page. And so from that day forward, I had a wonderful experience there. And then immediately upon graduation, I was able to secure a role in a local Harlem theater. It was called the Hadley Players, and it was founded by the late, great Gertrude Jeanette. She originated the role of Sabina in Skin of Our Teeth by Thornton Wilder. And she was a tough lady. I believe she lived to be over 100 years of age. And so, from that vantage point of being able to act in the theater in New York, I was able to get a tour, and I obtained and earned my equity card. It was a hard earned card. Because we also had to be stage managers on this tour. And it was a whole thing, and I loved it. And ultimately found my way back to Texas when me and my husband, we had our first child. We're both Texas born, Texas raised, and we wanted our son to have that same experience. And so now here I am. I have been continuing to act in local theaters in Houston. I've done some film work, continued to do film work. And now, as I am getting a little bit more seasoned, as they say, I am venturing into the world of coaching. And it's because I had started a nonprofit theater company, a faith-based theater company. I found, in my opinion, a lack of what I would call really intelligent writing for the stage from a Christian perspective. And I wanted to help be a part of getting more works out. And when I say intelligent, what I mean is not superficial types of works. I'm talking about works that are entertaining and may cause you to wonder about meanings, that's really substantive, something that you can sink your teeth into. And so I just feel that that's my job, is to fill in those gaps so that a person with a faith-based interest can be intellectually stimulated while at the same time being entertained. And so that's what I aspire to do with my writings. And so here we are. And tonight I am talking about audition efficiency and how to make every second count when you walk in a room. I was getting to a point. I was talking about the theater. So I founded a theater company. And what I noticed with some of the when we would have open calls and things like that, we had a lot of people, they were so on fire for the Lord, which was awesome. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. But the other part that needed to be more developed is their skill set. And so, and there's nothing wrong. Everybody starts somewhere, and no one person is the end all and the be all. No one knows everything. But what I observed is that, you know, we can have an interest in something, but maybe we don't give it enough attention. We don't spend enough time with it. We don't study it enough. We are just maybe fans of the thing, and we're enthusiastic, but we haven't just taken the time to get in there. And so here we are with Purposed Performer. I really want to help you as an artist, as an actor, to win and to know what you're doing and to be confident in showing up for yourself at auditions. And so, without any further ado, I do have some notes and things that I wanted to go over. This is going to keep me honest, and this will go for about 15 or 20 minutes. And if anyone was actually on here, I would answer any questions. But if you should see this at a later time, and if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment section, and I will get your questions answered. So one thing I wanted to ask is, did you know that casting directors often make a decision within the first 10 seconds of your audition? And I want you to think about that for a second. If someone, you haven't even gotten into the monologue is probably going to be 60 to 90 seconds. And here we are at the 10-second mark, and the casting director has already kind of made a decision about you. And I want you to think about the impression that you're making even before you enter the room. But I'm getting ahead of myself because I have that on my notes. But anyway, those 10 seconds when the casting director lays eyes on you, when you enter that room, that is actually part of your audition process, albeit it's not a formal part, but it is a part. Because when you enter in, the way that you come in, the energy you carry when you come in there, and how you conduct yourself, how you just govern yourself. For example, if you are carrying a bag or something of the sort, how you're managing your accoutrements, all your things, and how you're managing them, you're putting them off to the side, and how you're quickly, efficiently getting to your mark so that you can start to deliver your monologue. All of that is being observed by the casting directors. Now, I've been on the casting director side of the table, and in order to make a person feel welcome and not, to sort of ease those nerves, because I know nervousness is going on, it's just you'll try to maybe be making notes or maybe looking at a headshot if the headshot has already been given to you or whatever the case may be, so that the person is not feeling like, oh, all eyes are on them while they're trying to put their belongings down or something like that. So, but truly, this is auditioning is like a first date because you have that one shot to make a lasting impression. And so the way you enter into the room is key to having a successful audition. And by successful, I mean you came in, you were efficient, you hit your marks, you got yourself grounded, you hit your marks, you delivered your performance and you thanked the panel professionally, you gathered your things and you exited that room, and then you let the chips fall where they may. That's a successful audition. Now, the cream, of course, is getting the cherry on top is getting the role, but it's never a waste of time to audition and to do it well, because what happens is when a person, as far as a casting person is concerned, when they are in the business of casting, they remember favorably those auditions that went very well. They remember those people. So while they may not be able to cast that artist or that performer in that particular thing that they are looking at the moment, because it's their business and they're in casting, when an opportunity arises, then guess who would be considered as a potential shortlist name? Perhaps you. So a successful audition is going in and doing everything that you need to do and to do it to the most excellent degree possible. And that's what I would say about that. So let's talk about what to say. How should you introduce yourself and to do it confidently? Well, one thing I was taught is you come, once you're settled, you say your name, and you could even say an interesting tidbit about yourself, some sort of fun fact, and then you can present your piece. So for me, back in the day, I used to be so fond of a monologue out of Gingham Dog by Lanford Wilson. It was the Gloria monologue. This play was about an interracial couple, and the lady, she was becoming more of an activist. I think the marriage lasts all of about 3 years, and she becomes more of an activist in the marriage. And the guy, his contention is he married her. He didn't marry all this activism and all of these things that she's doing. And they live in the Lower East Side, I think, if memory serves, of New York. And she's becoming more angry, and he's becoming less understanding, I guess, if that's really the case. I'm not sure, but he's just trying to deal with what, he loves his wife, but this racial thing is becoming an issue in the marriage, and it's not going to last. So there was this very angry monologue, but I thought it was so powerful. I would perform it all the time. And then as I started to, mature a little bit, and I would go back and I would look at that monologue, I would say, this is a this is a crazy kind of monologue, and I don't think I want to be doing this monologue. But that is my opinion. You are free to have your own opinion. You're free to read The Gingham Dog. I think it's still a great study on relationships and cultural things and things of that of things of that matter. So I wouldn't discourage anyone from reading it. But anyway, I would get settled and I would say, hi, my name is Cynthia Garcia. Fun fact about me is I share a birthday with Albert Einstein. Today, I will be performing the role of Gloria in The Gingham Dog by Lanford Wilson. And then I would just pause, let that sink in, let the people who heard it process it. And then I would begin my monologue. Now, you know what? The first line was, I used to pray. I really did. That first year when we were married, that we'd have children. Oh, wow. That muscle memory is there. I haven't performed that monologue in ages, but those were the first words to that monologue. I used to pray. I really did. I really did. I used to pray. I really did. That first year at the hutch when we were married, that we'd have kids. Wow. Good writing there. It's good writing. But anyway, that's what you do. You introduce yourself, you do your monologue, and then you end it. And here's the thing that I find um, actors who don't have a lot of experience doing, they give the monologue to the auditor. That is a huge no-no. And let's see how long I've been talking. 15 minutes. So I'm gonna do this for another 5 minutes, and we're gonna come back for more if you guys want more. You'll let me know because no one's here. But this is fun. This is fun to be able to just get these ideas and these thoughts out to start a conversation. So here's what I want to say. If you are delivering your monologue to a person who, oh, someone says they're here, Parabellum. Hi. Hi, Parabellum. I don't know who you are, but welcome. I'm going to be on here for about 5 more minutes and then I will log off. But what I wanted to say is it's very awkward, it's very uncomfortable when you deliver your monologue to the auditor, because now you are forcing the auditor to engage with you and they really want to be objective about what it is, but now they become more of a subject in your monologue because you're looking at them. They're feeling compelled to look back or to give you attention, because God forbid they just start doing this while you're performing, then they can't see you, but then you are internalizing that head being down as they don't like you or they're not interested in what you're saying or they're not going to cast you. But the truth of the matter is it's very awkward. Oh my goodness, thank you, Parabella. Parabellum. Are you an actor? Tell me more about you. And thank you for just being here. I appreciate that. um but yeah, it's very awkward when a casting director feels they have to engage in your monologue. They want to be able to objectively sit back and determine if you are a good fit, even in real time. Because remember, they're trying to fill a role, they're trying to cast a part. And if they can sort of get their initial thoughts about that while you're performing, that is a great opportunity for them to efficiently use their time. But if you're giving them the monologue and they're having to sort of come out of the brain of just being objective and now they have to partake in what you're doing, it could be very awkward for them. So what you want to do is you want to raise your eye level just above their head, and you don't have to always do it center. You can take your angle off on a 45, 45 left, 45 right, whichever direction, as long as they can see your face. But don't give your monologue to the auditor, to anyone on the auditing team. The only time it would be acceptable for you to look at anybody to give your monologue is if you're going in for a read. If you're going in for a read, and I've served as a reader. When I lived in New York, I actually served as a reader for Lynn Nottage's play Intimate Apparel. Was it Intimate Apparel? Yeah, I think it was Intimate Apparel. And she told me as the reader, she was like, just keep it simple. Like she didn't want my reading to be a distraction for the casting process that she and the other people on her team would be deciding about as they sort of gauged the actors who was set to audition. She wanted me to just keep my read very natural, very just straight, if you will. But that is the only acceptable time to give your attention to someone in the room, because you have someone that you're engaging with, and that is acceptable. But when you're doing your monologue, please don't give it to the auditors. That's going to be a big no, a big no. And this is, let me see how many. I have some notes here. And so I have like 3 segments, and I'm only going to cover one segment tonight, and I'm almost done. So I've talked about your how to give your natural delivery, your eye contact, your energy. You've walked into the room with that. I've talked about that. Here are some common mistakes. Everybody gets nervous. So what I would implore you to do is before you get into that room, do some deep breathing exercises. Get off to a space by yourself if at all possible, and just center yourself and calm yourself down with really some deep breaths, okay, from your diaphragm. And also just stretch, do some stretches and get that nervous energy out of your body so that when you walk into that room, all of that nervous energy it can go into the work. And you're not, hello, my name is Cynthia Garcia and I'm going to be, it's like you're speaking faster than in your brain is not computing that you're going that fast, but you are speaking too quickly. Just slow it down, not too slow, but at a normal, natural pace. Introduce yourself, introduce your monologue. If you do have a fun fact or a tidbit that may be of interest, sort of sandwich that tidbit in between your name and the introduction of your piece, and then go on. But so that's a common mistake, is rushing your intro. This is an interesting, it just brought back an interesting memory to me. When I was in acting school, we had to practice being in a dance line, stepping out, saying our name, and stepping back in. And we did that routinely. Now, why do you think we were doing that? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Macho. Thank you. Thank you for being here too. Thank you. I'm almost done, so I'm not going to keep y'all long, but I appreciate you being here, Macho. Thank you. And so we would have to say our names. We would stand in the line, step out, say your name, and then step back into the line. And the reason we were doing that is it made us comfortable to say our name. How many times do you actually say your name? Hi, my name is Cynthia Garcia. And then step back into the line. Step out. Hi, my name is Cynthia Garcia, and then step back in. We had to do that. At that time, my maiden name was Brown. So my name is Cynthia Brown. Step out, say your name, step back in. So what you want to do is you don't want to rush your intro. You do want to have inflections in your voice. You do not want to be monotone. Be interesting. And please don't explain anything about anything. If you mess up in your monologue, it's okay to say, "Oh, may I begin that again?" And you will find that the casting directors and the auditing team, they will be gracious and they will let you start again. But please, we don't want to hear about, "Oh, I was nervous," or these are things that a professional will never do. Yeah, you may be nervous, but to sit up there and talk about how nervous you are or talk about all of these things, it's not professional. It's akin to being on a job interview and you're just letting everything hang out when you're trying to get the job. And I'm not saying to be dishonest, because transparency is good, but you have to use wisdom with it, okay? They can see that you're nervous. Just take a deep breath, start it over, and deliver your monologue. So I'm coming to the end of segment one, and the last thing you want to do is think of your introduction as your opening line in a play. You want to own your introduction with clarity and with confidence. So if you heard nothing else, think of your introduction as the opening line. Everybody knows the opening line in the play. That's like huge. So think of your introduction in the same light. Well, that's all I'm going to share tonight. I think that's enough for my first live. Thank you for being here, Parabellum, Macho, Ronnie. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you all. I will come back with another live and finish this up, because I had another part about owning the audition room, leaving on a strong note, and things like that. But I hope this was helpful. Thank y'all for being here, and I will see y'all next time. Good night. If you have questions, put them in the chat, or not in the chat, but put them in the comments section, and then I'll answer your questions, because some other people may have those questions as well. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Bye.